Pat O'Malley here from O'Malley & Langen. If you're used to wearing these, and now you're stuck home wearing these, you may have a disability that prevents you from working. Call us at O'Malley & Langen. We can help you get the Social Security benefits that you've earned. Good morning and welcome to You Be the Judge. Today we're going to talk about the plight of the American veteran and who can help. I'm really pleased to have as my guests Kerry Schimmelfinnick, who works with the American Legion as an outreach officer.
That's correct.
Gets out and talks to veterans and tells them what's available and advocates for them. And Tom Gilbride from O'Malley & Langen, my partner, who recently was certified by the National Organization of Veterans Advocates and just came back from Washington, D.C. And we wanted to talk a little bit to the public about letting them know that there is help out there. And Kerry, how long have you been doing the Veterans Outreach?
I've been involved with the Veterans Outreach Program for a year, just under a year.
And tell me what it is.
What we do is there's service officers, and each organization has one. And what we do is we go out and we work with veterans and help them to process anything to do with the Veterans Administration, whether it be a claim, whether it be for educational benefit paperwork, whether it be for dependency paperwork, whether it be for a widow, whether it be for a benefit of someone that was hurt on active duty, a veteran exposed to Agent Orange, whatever the case may be. We run the gamut. And what we do is we take them through the process, the frustrating process of the Veterans Administration. Our services you don't have to be a member of any one of our organizations, whether it's the American Legion, the VFW, the DAV, and there's no cost. We're basically free.
And you trained?
Yes, we're certified. We go through accreditation and TARP training and background checks from the Veterans Administration right through to the AOG of Pennsylvania, the Officer Attorney General, the Adjutant General down in Chambersburg.
And the local representatives, all the way from Tarrant-Hill in Hazleton up to Honesdale. You travel from office to office to make your services available to their constituents who have had problems.
That's correct. What we do, as a matter of fact, I go from Northampton, not Northampton, I'm trying to think of it now, down by Jim Thorpe to Monroe County. Carbon, thank you. To Lackawanna, Luzerne. We do, on the state representatives, what we do is we hold office hours. They provide us a facility for us to work with their constituents, and we usually do it for the sake of discussion, like tomorrow we're in Representative Flynn's, and it's every third Wednesday. And we do that throughout the whole region.
So if you are a veteran, you're married to a veteran, you're the mother or father of a veteran,
that's correct,
and you suspect that they could benefit from this, by all means, contact your local state representative, because frequently my experience is it's the loved ones of a veteran that may see some of the problems that a veteran has that nobody else, and the veteran certainly doesn't want to admit to.
I had recently a situation where a mother had brought a son in who returned, a returning veteran, and he was having some issues with, basically it's going to be post-traumatic stress disorder. He couldn't sleep and he was drinking, and they didn't realize what was available, and it took his mom to realize that he needed to be, talk to somebody.
And many of these kids and their families, number one, don't know what post-traumatic stress disorder is. They don't know how subtle a minor traumatic brain injury can be, but they do know there's a difference. They do know the person is depressed, he's having nightmares, he's drinking more, he can't concentrate on a job, he can't get along with people. And all of a sudden, that whole constellation of symptoms lead to a fellow that 10, 15 years later is sleeping on a grate in Philadelphia.
That's correct.
And it's so sad.
And the Vietnam veterans have done a good job of developing groups that can talk, and they try to reach out to these younger guys.
And I when we come back on break, I want to talk about a very sad case that came into my office through Congressman Kanjorski's. I had a young fellow that had worked for Congressman Kanjorski for a number of years, came to our office as a paralegal and said, Todd, would you be willing to take on this veterans case that I've worked on at Congressman Kanjorski's? They really need help. They're going to have a hearing coming up. Would you go to the hearing for them? And I agreed that I would. And to hear he and his wife talk about how long, this was a Vietnam veteran, how long it took, absolutely horrible what they went through and how angry they were. And when I went down to the trailer where the hearings took place, I saw one sad face after another, all sitting there, most of them not represented. A lot of people don't know what you have to offer, and those that do think that they need to be a member of the American Legion or the VFW, and I think I'm glad to have you here to be able to dispel some of those myths.
It's a great benefit for you to extend to us to do this, to tell people that we are out there. That's been my struggle, to try and get out there and let people know, the young people and the different people know that the programs we have available at the trailer, at the outreach programs we do. We also do them at the vet centers as well. And they're there, and they just don't know they're there.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about what services actually are available, and we're going to spend a little time with Tom Gilbride talking a little bit about the state of the law and what you saw in Washington, D.C., and what some of the major problems are. So please stay tuned to You Be the Judge. I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley and Langen. If I say accident, what do you think? Car crash, falling down the steps, unexpected events. People don't realize most of these accidents aren't really accidents. They're injuries caused by careless third parties. So if you've been hurt at work, call O'Malley and Langen. 1-800-817-COMP. 1-800-817-2667.